Welcome in, everybody. It's another episode of the DNVR Rapids podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Carroll, a.k.a. Merchel, a.k.a. We're done with championship shipping!
Congratulations.
Oh, my, what a load off that has been. Thank you for those air horns, super producer Kale, our guy back on the ones and twos. Completing the foursome, my guys, it's Super Yaya.
What part of the foursome am I?
Third.
Best position. The first.
I don't know.
The
I don't
second
know.
loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with
Yeah,
that.
you are. You're not the first loser.
I'm the second loser.
Definitely. Yeah, that tracks.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Also joining me,
Can I be 4?
fourth down, Duane Brown.
I like the shape of a 4. Like it's got a good shape to it. I'll take it.
Interesting.
I
I've
like
never thought about that ever.
That's my
actually.
job.
I like
think
the
about
three for obvious reasons.
about the shapes.
Because it looks like a butt.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's go.
Nice. Guys, we got a fun little show for you today. Sort of a news roundup, but not really, because only really one bit of news has happened. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Official news.
Correct, official news. We're going to talk a little rumors. We're going to talk a little rain delays. We're going to maybe even talk a little Drew Moor towards the end of the pod,
We want more.
because he is the legend and he deserves it. But first, I think we got to hit the news of the week. Porig makes his first move of the window, acquires Andrew Gutman from Atlanta United FC. I want to be official when I say that.
That sounded very official.
From the Five Stripes, left back, productive. He literally comes in as the leading goal scorer on the Rapids now with 3 goals, alone in first place on the Rapids. He also has 5 assists.
Isn't it crazy that now Lawless and him have more goals than the strikers?
Correct. Yes, it's insane. Because Lawless also tied for the
He's first
current
place.
Rapids lead. He's tied. Yeah, well, a lot of
Yeah.
Mikey, him, Cole, and someone else has 2. But the point is, we're bringing in a very offensive guy, fill out that left back spot. I never saw Lucas as an irreplaceable player, and turns out he was pretty tough to replace. It took a whole nother window to replace Lucas. Yaya, let's start with you, my guy. What was your initial thought when you saw the Gutman report?
Do you want to go what I said in Slack or kind of now? Initial.
No, this is good. This is good because none of us were of the same mind of this move.
No.
So I want to go gut reaction from you, and then I want to go gut reaction from you, and then we'll kind of talk about where we're at.
So immediately when I thought this, I was like, it's not. I know he's not going to be one of my favorite players, and that's nothing against him. Just not the type of player I like, and it kind of signals to me that they're trying to push a back 5, and I don't like the back 5. I think Gutman's going to be super serviceable, but I think there's a really high standard for fullback in my mind, especially
Right.
after you see Keegan. I'm afraid of his defensive lapses that are going to happen, something the Rapids can't afford because it's going to cause a lot more chaos in the back end. And also, it just felt like, I get they're trying to fortify position. Immediately, I thought, I'm like, okay, how is this going to help the team? It's really not. And that, it hurts to say, and that's nothing against Gutman. It's just the position that he plays. Left backs are not going to be game changers unless you're Alphonso Davies.
Hey, that's interesting you say that because we were talking about this. It's one of the hardest positions to find on the market, period. That's if you're Manchester City or PSG or a national team coach or whoever. Finding a left back is difficult. That's
Yeah.
and especially one that fits exactly what you are trying to do, right?
Exactly.
It's like you needed a possession receiver, right? But you run a air raid offense. You know what I mean? So it's like finding those right moves in there can be tough. So basically to sum up your thoughts, you were like, meh.
Yeah, I was, and again, it's nothing against Gutman. It's just where the team is. It doesn't inspire change. You're not going to look at it and think, wow, this guy's going to help the Rapids be better immediately. And he could. I'm not saying that he's not capable of it.
Sure.
It's just not the first move I would have made. Then again, it's right at the beginning. This is more of me as a burnt Rapids fan.
Sure.
That I want different moves that excite me.
Sure.
And Mitch put it in a really good way when he told me, he was like, hey, you got to look at it as right now what the move actually is. And I think that's a really fair to look at it. And we'll get to that a little bit in a minute.
Yeah.
But initially, I was just like, okay, And it's nothing against him. I think he'll be good. He'll be serviceable.
I think he's like a really good addition.
And to me, it's just like he'll be good.
Yeah.
It just, to me, I have a really high standard of fullbacks, especially when I look to the right and you have a Keegan Rosenberry.
You just have a rock solid legend.
Exactly. And I'm like, and you had a budding superstar in Sammy Vines in the league. And then you had a super explosive Lucas Estevez on the left side.
Explosive, mentally explosive, physically.
But he was good though. Like you can say, but he changed the game. He changed it enough where he actually helped the Rapids win.
Absolutely.
And part of me is like, is it too late? Should have this move come in May? Should it come in April? Should have been like right before when you saw the skid and you knew Gershbach wasn't playing or he wasn't developing. And that's the thing that kind of got me going. And that's what it was like. Okay, I get it. I understand, and when Mitch kind of talked me down, I got a better understanding. And again, I get it. There's initial reaction, initial.
We'll get into where we all finally landed, which I think was almost in the same place. But Duane, you were even further from Yaya. you were. If I can put this into a sound,
I wasn't on it. I just think my meh was a little bigger than Yaya's. And again, this is like initial thoughts. Like we've all had time to like really think about this, and my feelings are certainly different now than they were when it was announced. But yeah, I think, you know, as a Rapids fan who, and I'm not just talking about this season, but just, you know, long term, looking for that striker to finally come in and be our guy. To hear that we were getting a defensive player on a defense that's pretty good, you know, certainly better than last year.
Top 10 goals allowed, but sure.
Yeah, wasn't what I was hoping for. So really it was more based around that versus anything to do with him as a player. It was just more not what I was hoping to see. Now that there are other rumors, you know, about that position that many of us are hoping for, that need, that desire is at least there's might be something happening, you know, like none of us know, but there's rumors out there, and that at least makes me feel good that things might be happening.
Sure.
So then I could actually start looking at the actual player himself. And I think the biggest thing is what you were saying, like the biggest banner to me that you're carrying is like just how difficult it is to lock in a left back that you're going to keep for a while. You know, that's not just going to be like a short-term rental. That's going to be someone that you can rely on to be a part of your squad, a part of your back line. And, you know, getting past the striker thing, like this is the guy, you know, and no, gee whiz, Mike. Nope.
Duane is brown for ALLCITY.
Yeah, not at all.
Look, before we kind of figure out where we landed on it, look, it's so hard to find good left backs. He is a good left back. He's not a good defensive left back. But if you have a back three, right, where you know Maxu's going to hold down that pivot, you have, you know, we'll see who survives the window, but I'm assuming one of Lawless or Wilson are still there. Bombito's going to get a ton of minutes. You have Keita in the wings if he can ever get healthy. I think he's going to be really good when he gets on the field.
Oh, I forgot that we had Keita.
You have Edwards in the wings. You have a lot of guys, right? You have
Technically,
Chacon.
you still have Vallacilla too.
Yeah, and Chacon. So like, there's plenty of moves there, and if you can put Keegan and Gutman together, I think you have as good of an outside back pairing as there is in the entire league.
I think you're right.
Or close to it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Once we talked about it, and you kind of like put everything out there, me and Duane kind of calmed down a little bit more from like, because I think mine and Duane's main argument.
You just want goals.
Yeah, I think that was our main argument. Because
I love goals.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And that's the biggest thing.
Cracks me up.
And that's the biggest thing. The thing with it was we weren't mad at the deal itself.
Right.
But we weren't doing bad, because I feel like this move, to me at least, it feels like a move that you make when you're a step away from being a contender, a step away from making the playoffs. And it didn't feel like that with the Rapids. I thought there was bigger holes to address. First, that doesn't mean they're not going to be addressed. And after we'll get into it, we heard some other rumors. I've kind of calmed down a little bit, and I'm like, I understand. The back three to me is just not sustainable.
I love back threes personally.
To me, it's not sustainable because you're not scoring goals. And that's the main reason.
Right.
If you're going to do a back three, a back five, you need to have that offensive prowess to be able to score scores, come right back, and you just don't have that right now. You're too defensively focused, where I think this team could actually thrive in a back four with 3-3 with the right...
With the right 3-3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with the right, and I think you have the pieces there. You just need one more guy, which might be the striker position, and complete the last missing puzzle for that 3-3 to actually work. And again, it's not a bad move. And I see the chat going crazy thinking that we hated Gutman.
These two hated him. I loved him.
And me and Duane, it's thinking...
Didn't have anything to do with actual...
He's a mini
Didn't have
Ten
anything
Hag.
to do
He's
with
Ten
Gutman
Hag's
at all.
mini-me.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with that. It all had to do with our frustration of what we wanted to do. And we can sit back and admit that it's not the move that we were frustrated or low on.
Yeah.
It was the order of the move, and I think it's a good move.
Yeah.
I'm not
And
out on him.
I think here's what you're trying to get to, maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of people rarely look past the next window, right? When you look at a sport like, let's say, the world champion Denver Nuggets, right? You basically have from when the finals start, because you can make trades during the finals, until mid-February,
That is
right?
insane.
And you can make moves, you can react to injuries, you can do all this stuff. You basically, and the MLS has a little longer windows and stuff, but you really get 2 months. You get the 1 month in the summer, you get the 1 month in the winter, and that's when you can make moves. So if somebody isn't going to be available in that next window, but you see him as a piece for the next season, you have to jump on it. You don't get time later to add people. Like, you have a very limited window in where you can team build. And yes, adding a starting caliber, very good left back to this team does not fix this season. Right? Absolutely does not fix this season. But if you go into next year and you say, okay, well, outside back set, great. Center back, likely really set,
With
great.
Moise and Max, too, in my opinion.
Right. And then find the third guy, right? Whether he's in-house or not.
Unless you go with a back four, then you don't have to find anybody.
Even better. But, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, this is one of those moves with the long term in mind because he's going to be under contract. He's only 26. And he fills a role that's, like, we were talking about it today earlier. It's like Sam Vines was awesome, and then Lucas was awesome, and then it's been a bunch of... It's just been nothing in that role.
The only person that actually I thought was a serviceable person in that role was Bombi.
Oh, I was going to guess Sam, but Bombi makes sense.
No, but it's like the left back, not the wing back. Because wing back, even Gavon was good at that.
Right.
But he
And
hasn't
Sam
played wing
too,
back. Yeah, and Sam has been good, and I don't know why. We assume a back five for the one reason that you need a lot of defensive prowess with this guy.
Yeah,
'Cause he
because he's
pushes
not a
up
great
really-
defender. Yeah,
yeah,
because
he-
you're basically playing with a 3-back if you're playing with a 4-back.
Exactly, because you're going to push up so high up. This dude's going to push up. There's a reason he has 3 goals in the season.
Well,
Like,
and it
this-
really lets your 6, wherever you land on the 6 after Jack, really lets him be a deep line playmaker. Because
Exactly.
you have Keegan and Gutman outside and up. So I think it fits so great with the back 5. I do think that's what Frazier wants to do. Most of the time, it's how he started last year, not how he finished. It's how he's bounced back and forth this year, but I feel like it's mostly been successful there. And I just, it's one of those moves where it's like, yes, was it the first thing on the list that we all wanted?
No, it's not.
Zero chance.
No, but it's a good thing.
Is it a good move for $400K and an international roster slot? Yes.
It's a great move.
It's an awesome move for that. So absolutely kudos to that. And then I think what really changed your guys' tune, and what I'm sure the chat has already been talking about at some point.
Before we move on to the next rumor,
Okay.
what do you grade the signing?
A.
This trade?
A. It's an A.
I do think it's an A. Not
an A.
just, it's a 2-part A for me, and it's one because of the caliber player he is, but also like what we gave up to get him. We got a way better deal. Like just a way better deal.
And I'll actually say A minus because I'm not a fan of it giving up international spots.
Sure.
Especially because I think they're very helpful and you can make a lot of moves with those.
They're also
But
pretty easy to get.
They're easy to get, but you also you got Rapids only have funny money to play with.
That's true.
So if you're gonna give up funny money, give up as much funny money as you can, and then keep your international spot for
Yeah.
later on.
I feel
Yeah,
like there's
my
a
idea.
plan though. Like you don't give up a international spot unless you are taking that into account for the future.
Yeah, I think maybe
So
that means
that's why it's not
Americans
quite as
inbound.
big a deal.
and probably international outbound would be my guess.
Yeah, and
I don't know that. I just,
completely fair. And that's my only. That again, it's an A. It's
Yeah.
just an A minus to me.
A minus is fine.
I value international spots.
I
quite
would be
more than
very
most
happy
people.
with an A- on any assignment.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, so let's get it. So that not stoked, and then less than an hour later,
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
25
yeah.
minutes later, the Slack was it hadn't, our group chat hadn't popped like that in so long.
We were
Split, and it's fine. I mean, it's good that this isn't just a homogenous panel here that we all think the same thing. It's good that we disagree. That's what makes this work.
exactly.
But then the guy could be the guy. You think he could be the guy.
I have some very strong takes about this.
You
dude.
do, and I'm really excited to get to them. Rafael Navarro of Palmeiras in Brazil.
Brazil.
He hasn't featured as much where you see the rumored transfer or loan with option to buy for $5 million, and you're like, that's a lot of money for a guy that hasn't played a ton. He played over 3,000 minutes in Serie B in Brazil on a team that won Serie B and got promoted. Had 24 goal involvements that year. Played as much as anyone on the team. The guy he's one of those guys, when you're like building a team on, FIFA or Madden or something.
Career mode,
Where
I think,
he's
would
like
be
he's like a B or more in everything. There's nothing that's really a bad grade. Right? Like maybe his pace could be better, and maybe his passing could be better, but none of it is bad.
Yeah.
Right? And he's big, 6 feet, plenty of muscle. You're not putting another Mikey out there or anything like that. And when we sent one YouTube link in the chat, and we were all in. We're all in on this guy. All right, yeah, you got to cook. Who does he remind you of?
See, I'm gonna get so much shit for this, and I know
Not
I
from
am.
us.
And I know I am. So I actually went back and did a little, not deep digging, just some digging. That if this guy actually works out, he might be in the likes of like a João Klaus, Sebastian Doruzzi, Hani Mukhtar. For the one reason is, it's not because they play the same position. It's not. These guys are guys that were in like around the back end of a top 10 league.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Russian league, I think it's ranked like number 9. The Brazilian league is number 7, and I think the Danish league is number 8. They're all around the same area of talent that they were playing on, and those dudes were not playing the way they should have out there. They weren't producing. They weren't the player on their team. They were good players. You can tell they had talent. The game just looked a little quick for them. The game just looked like it wasn't their style of play, and that's fine. It happens. It is what it is. This guy seems, when he plays in Brazil, it feels the same way. It feels like the game is not fast. It's too fast for him. It feels like it's just not his style of play. It's not where he's at. So I feel like if he comes to a league like the MLS, who the style of play is maybe a little bit quicker, the style of play might fit him a little better. He can. I'm not gonna say he's gonna become MVP of the league, because I don't believe that. I think he can become. You can see the huge jump of production, like you saw from those guys, like Insene and Bromby and Hoffenheim. You can see the production jump up quite a bit, and you're like, wow, this guy's a star. It's not that he wasn't a star over there. It's just maybe the style of play didn't fit him. That how much he could have actually done in that area.
Well, and he's playing behind two $20 million strikers.
Exactly. 2 guys that are completely incredible.
Whose jump is going to be to Barcelona, Real Madrid.
You're looking at
PSG,
Chelsea, Man U, all those guys.
Yeah, that's where the guys that were in front of him at Palmeiras are
gonna
going to go.
Exactly. This dude is incredible, and that's what I'm saying. This guy, his style of play to me, I compare it to João Klaus. I'm not saying he's gonna score the same, but you see the same
that would
thing.
be amazing.
You see how he plays. He's big. He's lanky.
He's a big dude, yeah.
Like you see him, and he's kind of like stumbling through the field, but like in a very gracious way.
And he has such a creative first touch where he can put it in a place where he then uses his physicality to move a defender and get to the ball. Where a lot of people would receive it, keep the ball in front of him, have a defender on their back, he can put it in a place where he can use how big and strong he is to get the defender out of his way and get to a different way and start that run. It's so impressive.
He honestly, like, if I had to put it out there, it's kind of like you see Connor Casey, big dude, huge guy running around, but he was striding, he was doing a thing. But the thing about Rafael Navarro, he has that Brazilian touch.
Sure.
He has that flair to him. You can see that little things, the little flicks that he does. It looks a lot like Yoga Bonito, but a lot clunkier, because that's his style of play. That's the Brazilian way that you play. And that's why I think, I'm not saying he's going to have the same production. I'm not saying he's going to be this all-star face of the league like a Yaklaus, a Jerusalem Mukhtar. I'm saying that you can see a pretty high jump in production just because you're moving to maybe a style of play that's going to fit your style of play a lot more.
I think he has a chance to be that DP9.
Of course. And the biggest thing about this is the price tag. To me,
it's a big price tag.
To me, that's
a lot of money.
The best part.
Yeah.
And it's not because I want them to spend loads of money. It's because it shows from the club perspective that they're going to be willing to invest on things that are worth it. And you're trying to see if this guy's worth it. And if it is, they will pay that cash and try to keep him here to be a good team. And that's all I want. That's all I care about.
He's young. He's 23. Fits the timeline that Porg always talks about. Duane, you've been quiet about our guy Rafael Navarro. What are your thoughts swimming in that Duane head of yours over there?
Here's my thoughts, folks. Watching clips, looking at photos, this guy knows how to celebrate a goal. I'm telling you, the goal celebrations at the Dick are going to be immaculate. And I am so looking forward to that. I don't need to talk about all the stats because Yaya's already hit that.
It's going to be orgasmic at the Dick.
Being in the stadium and just watching him celebrate a goal. He's got a few different moves. I'm already locking him in. And it's going to be awesome. Like I see him scoring a goal and running over to the away supporters corner and just dropping stuff on him. It's going to be good if that were to happen. So it's, I'm excited about all the other things.
Sure.
But just from a outside all of the numbers perspective, I think if it were to happen, it could just be more fun in the stadium.
Along your lines, something that I saw immediately that jumped out about our guy. He has tattoos. I'm a tattooman. I'm tattooed. Yaya's tattooed. Duane is tattooed. I'm a tattooman.
Tattooman's a cool name.
I like tattoos. I think it's cool when more players have tattoos. He has a jump man.
I know.
Tattooed right on his neck. That takes
cojones.
Bro, you better be a baller with a Jumpman tattooed on your neck. And that screams confidence, screams huevos. It's this, that was like, I was in on the highlights and then I saw the Jumpman neck tattoo and I am so in on this guy.
You know what that's called?
What?
Swag.
Yo,
dude,
drip,
straight up
Riz,
swag.
What other words? What other young words are we using over here right now? Drip, swag, Riz.
We're talking to
what else we got?
We're going to our young person correspondent.
That's the ones that are in right now. We had to check with the.
We covered it.
We had to check with the intern on what the kids are saying.
Real quick.
We got you covered, young folks.
Yeah, real quick, Mark. And the odds of the Rapids getting him, I would personally put him around 75 to 80%.
Woo! I like that.
I think this is one of those things where it's difficult to negotiate with teams in South America. It's just very different. The whole market is different.
Yeah,
right.
It's not the U.S. Actually, the U.S. is different, and then they go to other markets,
right. And it's tough,
and it's really
it's a
difficult.
Tough thing. I would say I feel confident in this, but you're right. I mean, there's always, if the Rapids are the team that's in on it, why wouldn't a better team? A club higher up in the standings or with more
Minnesota,
cash or someone jump in on him, right? Like, why not? But I think this dude's a Rapid. I will be buying a Navarro kit. I'm so in on this guy.
I will wait after the loan to buy a Navarro kit. I will say that.
All right, I will. The day that $5 million buy goes through, I'll be purchasing a Navarro.
I think you should wait just in case. We've seen multiple DPs come. Namely,
for sure.
Let's see the first one in my head that comes by.
Let's get into some other moves. There was a former Pidsman on the move today to a rival, and we'll talk about that in 1 second.
They're all rivals.
First, we have to talk about Shady Rays. Throw them on there, yeah. God, you look good. You look good.
Some people might say I'm rayed up.
Forget rizzed up. You're rayed up, my guy.
The kids still say that?
What?
Rayed up?
No, the kids never said it. We said it. We're not the kids. We're decidedly not the kids.
Cody, you can't ask for the team to be better than complain when they spend money. You need money to be better than MLS.
That's true. You don't get it both ways. Okay, but let me finish talking about Shady Rays. You can take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company and offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. That's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear.
How insane is it?
Every pair of sunglasses,
Every pair?
every last pair
That's insane.
is backed by lost and broken replacements policy. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked.
What if I'm wearing sunglasses, I run onto the pitch, which you should never do,
Unless it's raining, then it's
but
fine.
I just couldn't help it. I trip, I fall. My Shady Rays fly off my face. Navarro comes out of nowhere, kicks my Shady Rays. They shatter into 1,000 pieces, but all inside the goal. Would they replace that?
Yes.
First of all, I'd
Incredible.
say what a nay-hole. To
Incredible.
Navarro, not you. But second of all, yes.
I hope that an RSL player does that so then we can boo him even more.
Chicho.
But together with their customers, Shady Rays is providing much needed support to their nonprofit partners across the U.S. through Shady Rays Impact. From building playsets for pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with MS the outdoor adventures of a lifetime, Shady Rays is making an impact in your community and others like it now and for years to come. You can shop the entire collection at their brand new location at Park Meadows Mall. It's a full-stop shop for all things Shady Rays. If you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code DNVR for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people in 5 Rapids by the 3 of us.
Let's
Boom.
go.
Guys, I have a really sad news update for you.
Real quick before we continue, don't forget that there's a podcast. Listen to us on Apple Music, Spotify, and all the good things. And don't forget to drop a like.
Hey, if you watch this whole show live on YouTube, when we drop it on Spotify, if you hit play for 5 seconds,
It counts as a download.
counts as a download. Goes a long way. So, you know.
Yeah, and
There
just
you
don't
go.
forget, I want to put it up right now before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because people tune out at the end sometimes, which is fine. So
Yeah.
just give us a like. And remember, there's a podcast as well. We have audio.
But yeah,
version.
if you're listening right now, throw a like up top there. It goes a long way for us. Guys, one of the classic DNVR Rapids, our guys from last season.
I don't know this news yet, so I'm ready
From
to be
last season.
sad.
I know which one it is. And I'm pissed.
One of
I hated
Yaya's
it.
favorite players, one of my favorite players, a guy who came out of nowhere and was a shining light amongst the darkness. Diego Rubio's countryman,
The homie.
the homie,
One of-
Felipe Gutierrez,
The best looking man on the Rapids last
has
year.
been signed
Please don't say RSL.
No.
by SKC.
He's going back to
Okay.
Kansas.
He's going back to Kansas City. And we
That's
thought he
fine.
saw the light here and he would see how horrible SKC is and how awful of a place it is to live and be employed. But he didn't learn his lesson and now he's there and it makes me sad.
I will say I think it's better. I think Kansas City's better than Saudi Arabia. So
That's what, no, he wasn't. He was in Dubai.
in Dubai, I still think it's better than that probably.
Being a rich guy in, bro,
yeah,
being a
but
rich guy in Dubai sounds way better than being a rich guy in Kansas.
You're not a rich guy in Dubai. That's the thing.
I mean, he's a rich guy in Dubai.
I
He's
don't
not,
think he is.
He's not top whatever percent of guys in Dubai.
I
There's
wouldn't-
richer guys, but he has enough money to go have some crazy fun in Dubai.
I don't know.
How much crazy fun can you get into in Kansas City?
The thing is, I don't think the laws permit you to have the fun that you think you want to have in Dubai.
I don't know enough about Dubai to say one way or the other, so I'm just going to assume that I'm right. That's podcasting, baby.
When in doubt, I'm
Just
right.
just let you behind the curtain a little bit. I mean, does that change your thoughts on SKC at all? Does it change your thought on how the West will play out? It's not necessarily a shaking move, right? It doesn't. I don't think any team is drastically updating their scouting report.
The way I look at this is the same way I look at the Gutman trade. Good move. Really good move. Just it should have been done by a contender that's at the fringes. That's the same way I look at them. And they're, again, good. A move.
Final piece kind of guy.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
it's like the guy that gives you that depth to push you over the edge.
Totally.
It's not the guy that's going to help you turn your season around. Because we know what he can do. Great guy. Amazing human being. Just, it's not going to turn your whole season around when you have so much holes. And that's how I kind of feel about it.
Duane?
I'm fine. I'm happy for him. Get paid.
Are you?
Go play soccer. I don't. SKC is not on my like
Not
my
on your
top.
shit list?
It's not on my top haters list. So
Interesting.
That's
I don't really
weird.
care.
Hate them.
Yeah, I hate them too. That
It's
is
not on. It's not on my top haters
Sorry,
list. So I'm
Cavincho.
okay.
real quick. Who do you hate?
Who do I hate? Who are the teams? That,
I know. Can I guess?
Yes.
Top
Dallas.
3 teams that you hate.
Dallas, number
Correct.
1 with a bullet.
No, is it Dallas over RSL?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
RSL.
I can't. Sorry, Drew Moore, but
Yeah,
I really can't
RSL.
stand Dallas. And RSL.
And,
Those are my two.
and Houston.
Top 3.
two-
Well, top 3.
Top 3. No, not I. Who cares about
LAFC,
Houston?
Galaxy.
Seattle.
It is Seattle.
I knew it.
Let's go. What about you, Mitch? Top 3 hated.
SKC, and RSL.
Really? That's
Wow, I didn't know
strange.
your hatred for SKC was so high.
Look, look.
It's fine.
It's
I'm not
because of the
judging
Chiefs.
you.
I don't really care. It's the Chiefs. I hate Kansas City.
Okay.
I will never have love for that city as long as the Chiefs exist. And I'll give a third. It's probably Portland. Not that there's ever been really big beef, but that playoff game still sits sour with me. They didn't deserve to win that game.
Really?
That
Wow.
Thanksgiving crowd deserved more, and it just makes me mad. So,
Honestly, mine are like mine are like 2 like super okay. That makes sense, and then my third one just doesn't make sense.
yeah.
Which it would be RSL.
Okay.
Screw Utah in general. All of Utah.
FSL, sorry.
And Utah. Fu Utah.
Yeah.
SKC for obvious reasons. I just hate them.
Hate.
And then my third one I think might be either Charlotte or NYFC.
Look, everybody's got their own reasons. Like,
That's what I mean. It's stupid. I just don't like them, and I don't know why. Like they haven't done anything to me. It's such a weird shit list, but it's my shit list. And that's what I
I was
said.
not. I would have never guessed that.
Nobody would have, and that's what I'm
That
saying.
would have
like,
been my last guess out of the whole
But
league.
I
Could have
thought-
gone 27 teams deep.
Would have been a long
and then
show.
gotten to-
Yeah, and
Wow,
I-
do you hate?
Actually, no. I might have to change Charlotte here pretty soon for St. Louis.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah. I knew you guys would find that hilarious because nobody would have fucking guessed that.
Oh my lord. Okay, guys. So, striker likely in.
Let's go.
We don't. I mean, we say likely in that. I think it's well above 50%, not 100.
Let's pretend it's in.
Let's just say striker in, left back in. Is it winger?
Has to be. I think you have to get rid of a winger and bring in a winger.
So, oh god, what's the Portland kid's name?
Santiago. I forget his last name. Moreno.
Yeah, Moreno, man. If he's available, I feel like that is like pouring central.
That's so expensive too. Also, Opaku just left LAFC for 1.75
1.75 million in game.
and that's an incredible deal for an all-star dude type of player.
Yep.
That should have been something the Rapids were in. For whatever reason, they weren't. Maybe LAFC didn't want to trade in within conference. That's a guy that I would have loved. Santiago's another guy that I think should be up there. And then you got to start looking internationally as well. I think you have to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how many interleague moves here for now are left after these two. I don't really think that's how Porg likes to operate. You know, I do think he likes finding these guys like a Navarro or a Maxu or a Ronan that are kind of those guys out there. Juan, I totally agree with your last comment there. I'm just not even going to attempt to pronounce that name on this podcast.
I probably shouldn't either.
It's Esmir.
Well, I could say Esmir, but, you know, I so people are saying Moreno and Navarro in that attack, please. Yeah, of course.
Oh, hell yeah. Give me that 10 out of 10.
Winger would be good. What about the kid from Atlanta who might be going out on loan? Do you think Atlanta would be willing to do another deal?
Maybe, dude. You open up
Ibarra's cool, bro. That's a good move.
That would be a loan. That would be
because he's an under 22 slot.
Exactly. That's a guy that you get rid of Leyva. You send him right back, and then you replace him with another. Like, and again, Leyva. I'm sure you listen to us, and I'm sure you love us because we're that great. But I just think Leyva hasn't performed up to what the Rapids wanted or expected. He hasn't filled in a hole. If anything, he created another hole because he's taking up a roster spot without being productive. And I think that's a guy that you got to look on for moving on because there's no commitment to buy. Right. You can send him back immediately and you'll be fine. And I think Ibarra would be another guy that can fill in that 6.
It's certainly a name to look for.
It's exact, and it fills in the 6. You can let Cole and Ronan roam those 8s, how I keep begging them to do because they're both super creative, and that's what I want.
Juan, you're making me say names on here is messed up, bro.
The Argentinian Leyva.
Messed up, bro. I can't do that. It's not cool, man.
And the thing is, Juan, he might be the Argentinian Leyva, but you don't know until you try it out. He might be, but it's just a loan. It's fine.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is like you tried the Leyva thing. Yeah, like the Leyva move. Look, is it keep him around or not? You just hope that he's depth. Can he come in and play 15, 20 good minutes? Yes. Do I want to see him starting right now? No. So can you end that loan and try another one with Ibarra? Can you maybe go mining again in these lower leagues in Europe like Porg's had some recent success with? Honestly, I trust Porg going out of league more than I do in league.
That's weird. Because his MO for so long was people trusted him in league more than out of league.
I mean, am I way off base there?
You're not way off base because I feel like he's done a decent job out of league.
Gersbach aside, I think lately it's been a lot of hits.
It really, I think it's been better. It really has. So I'm all for it. I understand what you're saying. Like,
Pomey calls a good one too. Texas Viking, that's a good name. I mean, throw out your names in the comments. Like, who do you want to see? Like,
try to see if Mitch can pronounce any of them.
God, don't do that to me, please. God, wait till Leagues Cup preview. I'm screwed.
I'm all in because they're all Mexican team.
I'm just gonna hold up signs.
I'm gonna sound like such an idiot on the internet.
Also, I'm horrible at names just in general. So like,
man, it's a bummer that Texas or that Judgmental Jim's Australian striker didn't make it over here.
Where's he at?
He went. I think he went to England.
Well, good for him.
Now I don't remember where he went, but I know he's off the market.
What's another? So if you're ranking positions, let's put striker in there. You have a left back.
We did striker and left back.
No, but let's say you still need a striker.
Oh,
let's
okay.
put it in there. That's going to be number one for all of us.
Yeah, until it's done.
How do you rank your need of what's your rankings
True
of
six.
needs?
True six.
True six.
True six.
So it's striker first. That's your major need.
Are you saying 6 over striker?
Yeah, that's my question.
I would.
So for you, it's defensive midfielder first.
Yes.
Striker. What about for you, Duane?
It's striker first every time until we have one.
I have to be striker too.
Bro, I need having Ronan and those guys just seemingly trying to do too much, right? You see Bassett tracking back too much. You see Ronan trying to play the 8 to 10 and the 6 to 8, and you have these guys just doing too much. Finding that true deep lying playmaker to help those guys specifically, to help Cole simplify what he needs to do out there, to let Ronan truly be, okay, ball's played out. You have a guy like Bombi You have a guy like Max who can play it out. And then you have that 6. All of a sudden, that next pass to Ronan could be a pass into the box, could be a pass on a streak on the outside. And it just opens it up so much more. I think that true 6 opens this up so much.
So you think the true 6 is more needed
To
than a
me,
striker?
I think it opens up the midfielders that you are already committed to that much more
Okay.
as a complementary piece.
All right. So if you had to rank your top 4, what would it be?
Deep 6, striker, winger. And then I could go a bunch of ways. I could go keeper, center back. I'll go keeper.
Okay. How about you, Duane?
Striker, then the 6, and then it's got to. I might even say winger.
Winger.
Chicken
dinger.
dinger.
Dip.
I might have to go winger.
All right, really quick.
I want
before-
to say
go ahead.
midfield forward, but
Yeah.
I'm stuck between second winger or
Sure.
midfield forward.
And that's my thing. To me, it would be striker. I think that's the biggest need. And then I might have to go winger because I think winger's the thing that if you have a good winger, I think you score goals.
It's also fun to say.
Yeah, winger, chicken
Winger,
dinger.
chicken dinger, winger.
I think it would then have to be a true 6. And then I think I'm going to be a center back. Because Danny,
Do you think we can match the Saudi Arabian funny money for Conti?
I mean, you might be able to. I don't think anybody can match that funny money.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Honestly,
No way.
Ramos. Like, Ramos would be the other one that you could, but like, nobody's matching that funny money out in Saudi
No.
Arabia either.
You think center back, huh?
Yeah, because look
Yeah.
at this. Wilson, probably not going to. Hasn't played great either.
I don't think one of Lawless or Wilson is here
I
at the
think-
end of this window, if I had to guess.
I think
But with
neither of them.
Maxu,
Bombi,
Bombito,
you need
Yeah.
a third center back.
what about? I mean, we don't know what we have in Keita.
Exactly.
We don't know what we have in Cater.
So
We don't
get-
know what we have in Chacon. We don't know what
Yeah.
we have in Michael Edwards yet.
And that's what I'm
Although,
saying.
like,
You
the
can
early
give those guys a
returns weren't-
chance. Like, I'm
yeah.
all for it.
Sure.
But it's also not a bad idea to bring in another guy just to compete with them.
Sure. Let's just real quick. Kevin calling for striker, winger, coach, ... I see where your head's at there. I wouldn't hold my breath, though. I saw someone asking if you're going for a CDM, do you think that means that Price is out? I think that was Texas Viking there.
That one's weird.
Hey, Price has an option at the end of this year. He's very injured.
Club option.
Does that mean I think he's gone? No, but look, it's sports. It's sports.
I don't even want to think about it.
Tough decisions happen all the time, man.
I don't even want to think about that.
Remember when the Celtics traded Isaiah
not gonna
Thomas?
think
That was
about
like
it.
the coldest thing ever. It just happens. Like, tough moves happen. And he's missed basically 2 seasons. He costs a lot of money. I think, I don't know. I think he might be gone.
It's 50-50 to me. It's pretty like
Yeah,
up
I
in
mean,
the
look,
air.
would
Like,
I be
you just
surprised if
don't
he's
know.
starting day 1 next year?
Not at all.
No.
Exactly, but you would also not be surprised if he's gone.
Yeah, and that's just because, especially in the MLS, you're operating within a budget, and if someone is taking up that large of a percentage, you just need them around. Yeah, just a true 6 is whether it's Price coming back, which literally could be as simple as that, right? But I don't know.
That injury is tough at that age.
Yeah. All right. We're going to talk maybe some more rumors, maybe some more whatever you guys want to talk about in the comments there. We're also going to talk about our guy, Drew Moore. But first, we have one more of the homies to talk about. Do you guys know who it is?
I do, but I'll let you say it because you love saying it.
Illegal Pete's. We love Illegal Pete's. This episode of the DNVR Rapids podcast is brought to you by Illegal Pete's. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they do bring every episode of the DNVR Rapids podcast.
That was such
It's a good point. Illegal Pete's is yours and ours go-to spot this summer. Are you ready for the longest happy hour around? That is not 1 happy hour, not 2 happy hours, not 3, not 4 happy hours. We are talking 5 hours of happiness every day at all 12 Illegal Pete's locations. All the usual fan favorite deals. That's the house marg. That's the coin style marg. That's draft beers. That's shots. The illegal peach. I don't know if that's still on the menu. That was always my favorite. All sorts of great drinks. You get free chips and salsa when you're participating in the happy hour stuff. Look, there's no better way to kick off a summer than the patio at Illegal Pete's. We go down there. I think I ate Illegal Pete's 4 times last week for lunch. It's right down the street. Fantastic patios at all the locations. Covered, misters, sound, TV, music. It's so fun. It's the best vibes we always go pregame when we go down to Ball Arena. We're always at the one down on 16th. If we got any events over on this side of town, we're at the Colfax location. If we're going to a concert in Boulder, we're either at the one on the hill or on Pearl Street. They're all over the place. And it's just fun. It's cheap. It's good. And they're the homies. So go check out Illegal Pete's.
It's not cheap. It's a good price.
You're right. Cheap implies negativity.
Exactly. It's a good price.
It is
for
the
a great
best
meal.
price for the best drinks and food
Exactly.
in that bracket. And I can tell you this, I'm not the only one that eats there all the time. I bet you collectively there's probably 50 meals purchased there between DNVR staff a week.
Yeah, I think it's Illegal Pete should
I'm not
change
gonna
its name
dispute that.
to Illegal Pete, the official sponsor of DNVR Lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. Kev, you kind of stepped on my...
Mix's Pete's tip of the week.
Hell yeah, that was sick.
It better
taquitos.
pay off.
Ask for them to make sure they throw that cheese on top so it melts on the taquitos. Get your 2 sides, queso and guacamole. You dip in the guac so it gets some solidness on top. And then you dip that in the queso, and the queso sticks to the guac. And it goes hot, cold, hot. All the good flavors you want. That's what we love.
Hey, yo.
Shout out to the homies at Illegal Pete's, man. Absolutely. Peace out, Wanners. Thank you for stopping by. We need to get Wanners Week back on the books for this season. We had it last season.
It was a crazy
That
week.
was a 4-show week for us, too.
Because we had emergency pods.
Because it was the Mac trade
Yeah.
and 2 post games in our studio show. Yeah, that was a fun one.
If the
Guys,
Navarro deal goes through, should we do an emergency pod or are we
of
good?
course. I just like hanging out with you guys talking ball.
We do know balls.
We do know ball.
I said it.
I know what you said.
We
We
know.
know ball.
That's called a redirection.
That's called shut up. No, I'm just kidding.
Dick and balls.
Guys, this weekend is a special game over at the Richard.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Right? One of the true... Man, I don't even know if I have enough good things to say about Drew Moore, man.
A true Rapids legend.
Rapids legend. Soccer
Good
legend.
Human being.
Just cool dude. Just the nicest guy. So involved. He's helping with the senior team. He's helping with the academy. He's helping with R2. He's doing the media side. He is so involved. Has a wonderful family. You just can't say enough good things about him. And he's being honored at halftime. What's the proper name for the area he is being introduced in? I always mess it
The
up.
Ring of Honor? No,
It's not
the
Ring of Honor.
The
The gallery.
Yeah.
the gallery.
Yeah.
I will say Drew Moore is what Pablo would have been if Pablo wasn't evil.
Wow.
If Pablo was what?
Wasn't evil.
Oh, because he went to
Wow.
RSL.
I
Yeah,
mean, Pablo
that's
was
so
that,
funny.
but then he turned his back.
Because Pablo didn't do a lot of media.
Yeah.
Drew Moore does.
Look,
Drew Moore is
man.
like the face of the Rapids kind of a little bit.
You interact
For
with
sure.
a lot of people in this business, and especially at DNVR, where like maybe we're the Rapids people, but you get Nuggets people in here, you get Rockies people in here, you get Broncos guys in here. They say don't meet your heroes for a reason, right? Like
yeah.
Drew Moore is one of those guys that
Disagree.
you are so much better.
Go meet Drew Moore.
Meet Drew Moore. Talk to Drew Moore. Any time spent with Drew Moore makes you better.
I still remember him lifting up the cup in 2010, and I was a kid, and I had to stay up late because my parents wouldn't let me. Like, it was a crazy time. And I still remember looking at Drew Moore and be like, wow, that dude's awesome. I'd love to meet him one day. Then I grew up to be a 26-year-old that sits on a couch and talks soccer for a living. And it's really cool to be able to look at him and be like, I have personal stories with this guy, and he's everything you wish an athlete would be. Great on the pitch and great off the pitch.
Again, I've told this story on the show and many more times other than that. I still remember him coming in on the other team us losing, all of the Rapids going to the locker room without going around and clapping off the fans and signing things. And despite the sadness of a loss in the stadium, you could see little pockets of people, little energy and excitement, because it was Drew Moor in the other team's kit going around, taking pictures, signing things, and just being Drew Moor. And it's my favorite Drew Moor story because I watched it happen. I love him for it. You know, I love that, you know, during World Cup he came and we got to hang out with him and stuff. But that story to me sums up like what Drew Moor means to Colorado Rapids and to Colorado soccer, is that the guy can be in the opposite team's kit and still be the only player on the pitch walking around.
That's amazing.
And Rapids fans are climbing over each other to say hi and welcome back, and him taking the time to do that. Just a class dude all around. I pushed back our family vacation by a day just to be there on Saturday.
What a legend, dude.
It was planned. You know,
That is
Catherine
so
had it all
funny.
planned for us to leave
That is so
Saturday
funny.
morning. I looked at the date and I was like, no, that's Drew Moor. It's Drew
Sorry.
Moor night. I was like, we can push it back by a day. And so, you know, she knows what the Rapids mean and
You
know,
see-
to me. And so it's, I mean, that's the level that he is.
Yeah.
I can't think of too many things I would push a vacation back a day.
Sure, of course
for,
not.
but it's what we
so-
did.
He's just one of those guys, man. You see him, you know, like I'll go to a practice and, you know, we're up on the side there, up on, you know, on the edge of the parking lot there, and he'll be either setting up a drill or kicking around with someone. He'll just look at you and give you the silliest look, and you're like, oh yeah, you're saying what's up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what? He's podcasted with us a couple times, met us a few times, but he's just the nicest guy, you know, to the point that like you consider him like a friend almost already.
Yeah.
Right? And just from a few times spent with him, I'll never forget him sitting here. We're watching the World Cup final. They're
The
going to
penalty
penalties,
shootout.
and
Like-
he's talking about what it's like to go to penalties for a trophy because he's done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
mean,
just,
in a
it's-
higher environment too, the MLS Cup and then
Right.
the World Cup. It's like you
well,
did
sure,
it in
it's
the MLS
not that
Cup.
they're the same thing, but
No, the MLS Cup's way higher. Of
yeah,
course.
of course. I
like,
mean,
yeah,
naturally.
like-
But just to be able to just, he's such a fountain of knowledge, and more than a fountain of knowledge, he's a willing. He wants to share. He wants to talk. He wants to teach. He wants to be involved. And there's just not many people built like him. And I hope Saturday, I hope the weather is perfect. I hope the sun is shining. I hope
I don't
everything
want-
goes perfectly smooth.
I don't
because
want to
he deserves
create
it.
any competition for myself. So I am hesitant to even say
Just
this.
say it.
But because I love you all, it was announced, if you haven't seen it, the first 1,000 people in the stadium will get a Drew Moor bobblehead
I saw that.
on Saturday.
Right.
I will be
Insane.
one of the first 1,000. It could be hail, lightning. They close the stadium. I will throw my daughter over the gate so that she can grab two bobbleheads, throw them back over the gate, and scale the gate, and we will run to our car and ride
Love that.
away with Drew Moor bobblehead goodness.
I do want to say something about real quick. And again, great. You have a great daughter willing to do that for you. I do want to say one thing about Drew Moor, and I think really stands out. We work in a sports company. Everybody here knows sports. Everybody knows who Drew Moor is. When he came in for the World Cup, everybody had an idea of who he was. They're not soccer fans. They're not MLS all the way in, which is fine. Not everybody has to be. And they didn't know his accolades. They didn't know all the great things he did. But after he left, all of DNVR, literally all the employees fell in love with Drew Moor.
Our guy, super producer Kale over there.
Like, man, Drew makes you fall in love with him as the
He's the
person
best.
that he is.
Yep.
And that's what I'm telling you. If you know nothing about him and you just know him as a human being, don't know of all the things he's done and all the great things that he's been a part of, you'll still love him because he's just that lovable. He is that good of a guy.
Yeah.
He is one of those guys that no matter what, you'll always love him. And I'm telling you, our whole company fell over backwards and is like, wow, this guy's incredible. We love Drew Moor. and we became a Drew Moore company. The D in DNVR stood for Drew.
Wow.
Wow.
Bold statement.
What a legend.
He is great, dude. We do love Drew, and I really do believe that. Like,
I hope you listen to this show.
If you're listening, Drew,
and
or you
send
listen
us maybe
later,
a game worn kit or something.
congratulations.
You know? Who knows? Maybe because we were so nice. You
know
pulled
what?
that up back there.
or just we're happy for you, buddy.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna clip this, send it to you, and be like, "See, Drew, we do love you."
Of course.
Not all the Rapids are
All
bad.
right, we got some housekeeping to do in the last 5 minutes here. Dallas coming to town. No Jesus Ferreira,
Let's go.
who is apparently the greatest goal scorer in American history.
Greatest goal scoring Gold Cup history.
He's rapidly climbing the list.
That's some prolific Gold Cup scoring, though.
He's been amazing. Hey, every other American player has played in the Gold Cup, and none of them have had back-to-back hat tricks.
That
So,
again, I'm not saying that he's not that great, but it's not prolific goal scoring.
he's prolific, but he won't be
and
there.
Somebody,
Gold Cup.
somebody's
But he won't-
upset because the team on his hat isn't doing so good.
No, they're doing better. They're good. They've won. Like I'm
That's
okay
true.
with it. Like
Look. Listen, Ferreira's not apart. Rapids need a home win. They need a home win more than any team has ever needed a home win. This team needs a home win.
I do have a hot topic for next week that I wanted to do this week, and we weren't able to, so we'll get into it. But it goes into that what you're saying right now.
Sure. Yeah. What's your prediction for this weekend?
1-0.
1-0.
Dallas.
Dallas? Yikes. All right, Duane.
I've not predicted a win for the Rapids in a long time, or even a goal for that matter.
They just took my
My-
solo camera, guys.
My fury,
You need another camera on it?
I want 24.
We need less.
my fury of hatred for FC Dallas, plus Drew Moore,
This
tells
is like your
me
day, dude.
that it's going to be a 2-1 win. Not just one goal, but 2 goals for the Rapids.
From Drew Moore.
Drew Moore is going to run onto the pitch and score a goal
And they'll accept
in
the clean
stoppage
Drew Moore.
time. And they'll be like, cool. I think we're going to win this one. I just feel like everything's pointing to a Rapids win finally at home. It's the best way for this club, and I hope every player is listening. It is the best way to celebrate Drew Moore is to get a win
2
for our
center
guy.
back goals. Is that what you're
I don't
calling?
care who scores them. Just
Look, I think they win. I do. I think they win this game. Dallas is way better. Even without Ferreira, they're way better. They are a pretty
they're very good.
they're a very stout opponent. I just think between the embarrassment in St. Louis where they just got their pants yanked down from the start.
That's the last full game they've played. A
was
week and a
Saturday.
half ago. That wasn't a full game. That was Saturday?
Wasn't it?
I don't. Was it Saturday?
Yeah.
Dude, I am so lost.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was Saturday.
No, wasn't that got rained out?
No, Tuesday got rained.
Yeah.
But then there was another. There's
Vancouver
2 rain outs.
That
on
was
Wednesday.
before.
Oh, that was Vancouver.
Yeah, that's why I'm so confused.
No,
That's
it was
all.
literally Saturday and
you're
then
right.
Tuesday and then
You're right.
It feels like a
This
year
weather
ago, but
is the worst.
Look, here's what happens. They're going to win. I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they're going to go up early. I don't think it's going to be like a domination, but I think they're going to do just enough, and I think this team is going to put it together enough to pull out a win. I think Bassett finally gets off the goal-scoring slide, and I think one of these set pieces finds one of these center backs. 2-1 win, just like Duane said.
I think it's going to be Yappy. And here's my hot take.
Okay.
Gutman.
Whoa!
On a
It's-
set
that's
piece.
not that hot of a take, though. He has 3 goals.
The
on
dude's
season.
coming
He has more
in.
goals than any Rapid
The
does.
dude's coming in
Okay.
like no gelling with
Yep.
the team yet. I
Yep.
think it's a set piece, and I think it's Gutman.
All right. Yeah, plug us out of here.
DNV _Rapids, Twitter, maybe in Threads. We'll find out.
Oh, we're getting a thread.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for that.
Good grief.
Follow us on
Threads.
on Threads and Twitter.
Mitch
give us a-
_ Carroll on Threads.
Exactly. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up wherever you hear on YouTube. I am lost right now. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Give us
Please.
a follow on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Give us a 5-star review, please. We'd really appreciate it. It'd be great for us.
We didn't get
and
We
follow
need
all
2
the things
more.
that we do. It'll be a lot of fun.
Duane, any other plugs?
Threads.
Plug
I
Threads.
just want to plug it. No. Guys, get out to the stadium. They're calling for bad weather. Who gives a crap? Get out
This
there
one's for
because you
Drew.
know who's going to be out there in bad weather? Drew effing Moore. That's who. So you need to be out there with him. Let's celebrate our guy.
DFM, dude. Our guy.
DFM.
DFM.
The best players in no, I was about to say the best players in Denver history all end with them, but Jokic and Elway don't, which might be the two greatest
You're
players.
talking about
ever.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I thought Peyton Manning, but also I was thinking of what's his name, McKinnon.
Oh, McKinnon's great. Guys, like and subscribe on YouTube. Get your diehard membership at thednvr.com. Let me send you some merch for free. Let me then send you some merch at a discount.
Boom.
Come to our bar and get a discount because you're a
Boom.
diehard.
Boom.
We got all sorts of cool shit going down here, and you need to be a part of it. So
Boom.
become a diehard.
Bang,
Please
boom,
and thank
bang.
you. Bang,
Boom.
bang,
Bang, bang, bang.
bang, bang. And more important than all that,
Real quick. Stay tuned on Saturday to see if we have a podcast. Because if it gets rained out, we might not be able to do
true.
it. So
TBD on another pod this
well,
week.
that's why you gotta follow us on Threads and Twitter, just
Yeah,
to make
follow
sure
me
that
on Threads,
yeah,
for
just
sure.
to make sure that we do have a podcast.
So dumb.
Hit that like button on your
I
way
made that
out.
account last night. I can't believe I'm plugging it. More important than that, though, baby, and it's the same way we end them all. Up the pits.